Well, last night was just not the Phillies' night. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hot Stuff Videocast here, recapping last night's game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Chicago Cubs as the Phillies lose 8-3 to the Cubs as they drop the third game of this four-game series as they go for the series win tonight at 8:05. Now, guys, before I get into this video, please subscribe if you haven't not yet. Please notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So, there's not a very good performance of the Phils last night. A crucial Didi Gregorius error in the bottom of the first inning sets the tone in this game. I mean, there's no question about that. I don't even know. I mean, Zach Wheeler, I understand he wasn't great last night by any stretch. I'm not going to put this all on him. I mean, the defense definitely did not help him. I mean, it definitely did not help him. And, that bottom of the first inning, wouldn't have been half as bad if Didi Gregorius wouldn't have made that error. They could have gotten nothing there in the bottom of the first inning if Didi Gregorius didn't make that error. I mean, who knows? The mentality could have changed. That's why I say that. But definitely frustrating to say the least. I mean, I understand you're not going to win them all. This is a game that definitely could have been won. And also, Joe Girardi goes back to it again. Why take out Zach Wheeler in that situation when you're going against Jock Peterson? Why would we give in Connor Brogdon of all people? We all know that Jock Peterson, just does not hit left-handed pitching too well. And I understand why you don't get, you're going to take out Zach Wheeler, fine. Okay, you said 97 pitches. I understand. But why would you bring in Connor Brogdon, another righty? Why would you bring in a lefty? I don't understand it. I understand we're a little short-handed in that bullpen right now. I just don't get it. It goes back to Joe Girardi again. I don't understand the decision-making. I understand, yes, Joe Girardi doesn't have a ton to work with. That's one more thing I will say. And we have to understand that Joe Girardi, the assets that he has in that bullpen are not very good. He just does not have a lot of things to work with in that bullpen. And you have to understand, you got to be like, he's the best bullpen, and he's not utilizing it too well. Well, yes, he's had his fair share of mistakes. You also have to keep in mind that bullpen's not very good. I think we all know that. If you watch this team on a daily basis, you're going to know that this bullpen is just not it. It's just not it. So it's going to be hard it's hard for me at least. I understand it's maybe not hard for some of you to knock Joe Girardi too much. Because you know what? I disagree with that decision. But you have to understand, he doesn't have a lot to work with in that bullpen. He just doesn't. So I pick up the scoring summary. In the bottom of the first inning, Jason Hayward singles on a little bloop to center field. Chris Bryant comes around to score. It's now 1-0 Chicago. Like I said, the Didi Gregorius error set the tone in this game. It did. Routine ground ball hit right to him, and he bobbles it, and it was a really terrible throw to Rhys Hoskins over at first. It just not all around is not a good play. Jason Hayward, some of these hits that the Cubs got, I will say, were little cheapies. These little bloop singles. These, putting the ball in play. When you put the ball in play, good things can happen. You always hear that. I always say it too. Good things can happen if you just put the ball in play, and that's what the Cubs are doing last night. They were putting the ball in play. 1-0 Cubs. Then this evening, Niso Herrero singles on a line drive to right field. Anthony Rizzo comes around to score, and it's now 2-0 Cubs. This wasn't really a cheapie. You know what, Zach Wheeler, I understand, like I said before, he wasn't great last night. The defense didn't help him, and he was allowing, this wasn't, a lucky hit, but he was allowing some cheap contact, and, it was kind of coming back and biting him. Then this evening, Rafael Ortega singles on a ground ball to center field right up the middle. Jason Hayward comes around to score, and the Cubs have a first inning 3-0 lead. I was not feeling too good at this point of the ballgame. This offense at this point, it wasn't only in the first inning here. Right out of the gate, the first couple games of the series, we were swinging pretty well. And at this point of the ballgame, I was not feeling too good. Then about the second inning, after there was a little rain delay there for about 15 minutes, Anthony Rizzo triples on a sharp line drive to right field. That was his third triple of the year. Jock Peterson comes around and scores now 4-0 Cubs. So you think a triple in any ballpark would be difficult, but it's not as hard, especially out in that right field area. It's kind of weird out there how it kind of juts out and it kind of goes a little deeper out there. It's now 4-0 Chicago. Rizzo, tripling right there. Then this evening, Wilson Contreras singles on a line drive to center field. Anthony Rizzo easily comes around to score. It's now 5-0 Chicago. All off of Zach Wheeler. Now, I understand yes, some of these ones were unearned. And then when Connor Brogdon came in, because he's just really just not that great, and unfortunately, some of the base runners that Zach Wheeler allowed on were charging him, and that makes sense. That's the way the rule goes, right? If you allow these base runners and they come around to score no matter who's pitching, they're going to be charged to you. So it makes sense. Then at the top of the sixth inning, Bryce Harper gets the Phillies on the board as he doubles on a sharp line drive to right field. And JT Mitchell comes around to score. Now a 5-1 ball game. The Phillies get on the board. Bryce Harper with his 12th double of the season. So Harp doing it again, right? I mean, getting that RBI total up now, up to 31 on the year. That was off of Alec Mills. Then in the same inning, Andrew McCutchen. The homer's only fly ball to left center field. Bryce Harper also comes around and scores a 2-run shot for McCutchen. That's his 15th home run of the season. And it's now a 5-3 ball game. So it's a ball game again, ladies and gentlemen. I was so pumped. I'm like, hey, this offense was kind of sluggish early, and we're starting to come out of it. We're starting to come out of it, right? I mean, it's a ball game again. And also in that same inning, a terrible slide by Alec Bohm, one of the worst slides I think I've ever seen. Clean up the fundamentals. I mean, it goes back to Didi Gregorius' hair. It goes back to the Alec Bohm slide. Clean up the fundamentals. I mean, we got to clean up these mistakes. Start playing fundamentally sound. We don't know how to play fundamentally sound. We don't know what that means, apparently. So I just don't get it. And like I said, I understand you're not going to win every game. This is, in my opinion, a very, very frustrating loss. But Andrew McCutchen, I'm just so proud of what he's been able to do. An OPS just under 800, 15 home runs on the year, 40 RBIs. That is a very, very solid turnaround season. I'm very, very proud of what Kutchen's been able to do. I think it's awesome. Then at the bottom of the sixth inning, here we go. Connor Brogdon comes in to relieve Zach Wheeler, and faces Jock Peterson. And not a surprise here, it's Jock Peterson singles on his sharp ground ball to left field the other way. Gerardo comes around to score, and the Cubs get that one of those runs right back. It's now a 6-3 ball game. So it goes back to Girardi again, right? Why in the world, I like to talk about it before, I understand he doesn't have a whole lot to work with in that bullpen. Why in the world would you take on Zach Wheeler? I understand. In 97 pitches, he looked tired. The last inning just wasn't really his night. I'm not really going to go too hard on him, but to end off the first half of the season like that for Wheeler, frustrating. Very, very frustrating. A frustrating way to go into the All-Star break. I mean, not a very good start. But I feel like that Didi era really set the tone. I think that rattled him. That seemed to rattle him because he wasn't making the worst pitches on some of the, what I'm saying? But I don't know. We'll talk about that a little bit later once we get to his line. But definitely frustrating why, Girardi would bring Brogdon in that situation. I mean, why would he bring another righty? I mean, I just don't, you might as well just left Wheeler in if you're just going to, have a righty come in. I just don't understand. He said 97 pitches, he brings in Brogdon. Why in the world are you bringing Brogdon in? And what do you expect to happen? Jock Peterson hits that ribby single, and then Patrick Wisdom doubles on his sharp line drive to left field. Ian Happ and Jock Peterson come around to score. And it's now an 8-3 Cubs lead. So they get all 3 runs right back as they have a 5-run lead again. And that'll be your final score. 8-3 your final score. The defense just did not help us last night. I mean, there's no question about that. Definitely frustrating. And Gene Segura at a leadoff spot is hitless. But Jay Tuinto, it was nice to see him do this. A 2-hit night last night, scoring that run. And Bryce Harper, that RBI double, driving in one of the 3 runs for the Phils. And Andrew McCutchen, like I talked about. I understand the average isn't great, but you know what I look at his age? The OBP, the OPS. Driving in 48 runs the first half of the season. I mean, this guy could easily get 100 ribbies. 30 homers, 100 RBIs, OPS near 800, pretty decent OBP. I mean, this guy's fine to play for a contract. I tell you, I love it. I just love it. So at Kutch's age, he's doing what he's doing. And Didi Gregorius, he really, really bothers me. Clean up this defense, man. I'm so tired of this sloppy defense. I mean, you're a Major League Baseball player. I mean, our defense on the left side of the infield is horrendous. It is horrendous. Alec Bohm, terrible defender. Didi Gregorius, terrible defender. It really, really bothers me. Whenever there's a ground ball hit to the left side of the infield, I get so scared, and I think I have a right to. So it's just very, very frustrating. Our defense all around in this team, this isn't very good. But Alec Bohm, 2 hits last night. That was nice to see. I tell you, one guy that's really cooled off is Ronald Torres. I mean, there's no question about that. Average now drops to 248, came off the bench. and just didn't really come through. Take a look at Zach Wheeler's start last night. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs. Only 4 of them were earned because of the D. Gregorius error, 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. You have to keep in mind that Connor Brogdon, he really frustrates me. But you also have to keep in mind that when he actually, I mean, these should be earned runs, but Connor Brogdon was the one that was pitching when there was one scored. I mean, of course, the base runners were put on by Zach Wheeler. I mean, it should be earned runs, but you also have to keep that in mind as well. But I think his line works worse than he did. I do. I think that if you watch the game, he wasn't making the worst pitches. Sometimes he just got bad luck. I'm not going to say, I mean, he definitely wasn't good last night. I mean, you can't say he was. I'm not going to go on a stretch and say, oh yeah, he looked good. He really didn't. It wasn't terrible. I mean, I just think the line is a little deceiving. I mean, I think that D. Gregorius there, I'm going to say it again, it really seemed to set the tone for this game. And I think it really seemed to rattle him. You got to try to put that behind you. It's easier said than done. But that definitely seemed to kind of bother him a little bit. I mean, it's not the best out of Zach Wheeler. I'm going to say it again, not a very good start. Not a good way to end off the first half of the season. You all know that DeGrom most likely will not be participating in the All-Star game this year. And Zach Wheeler trying to get the start for the National League. After last night, I mean, that's not good. You went in last night's game, ERA in the low 2s, and now it's, up to 2.26, which is still excellent. He got rocked last night. I hate to see it, man. I would have loved to see him lower his ERA below 2 last night. Have like an ERA like 1.95, and that would have been great. So the irony behind this game too. I mean, think about it. I mean, we win the first 2 games in a slugfest fashion. The first one was a laugher. Second game definitely was a slugfest, and we have our ace going on the mound, and we lose. So the irony behind that, you could see it. And Connor Brogdon only a 3rd inning, 2 hits. And the 1 run charge to him. I mean, he still wasn't very good. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed with him. And Brandon Kinzer, one guy since coming back from this injury, I understand he's got only a couple of appearances. One guy I've been very impressed with, 2 innings last night with the 1 strikeout. He looked very solid. I love to see this guy do what he did last year at the Marlins. I really would. So, yeah, frustrating loss last night. So we now drop to 41-43 on the year. So take a look at some of the divisional scores. The Braves totally just destroyed the Pirates, 14-3 your final score. So you just hate to see that. And then some other news. The Mets split the doubleheader with the Brewers. They won the first game walk-off fashion 4-3 and then lost the second game 5-0. Oh, what a shame. But unfortunately, the Nationals did completely destroy the San Diego Padres by a final score of 15-5. And you all heard the news that Juan Soto is going to be participating in the 2021 Home Run Derby at Coors Field. So that's going to be very interesting. You all know I'm not a big fan of Juan Soto, and he only has 11 homers on the year. I mean, think about it. Bryce Harper has 15, Juan Soto only has 11. I'm not trying to say that that Harper's a better player than Soto by any stretch. Actually, I think this year Harper and Soto are having pretty similar seasons. I do. And 2019, 2020, I mean, I definitely think Soto put up better numbers. But I think this year it's pretty similar. I do. I mean, I think I even said that to one of my buddies. I said, I think the Harper and Soto are pretty similar players. Especially this year, a lot alike. So those are your little divisional updates. So the Nationals definitely did kill the Padres, but the Nationals still just don't scare me. They don't. I'm just not really scared by them. As the Phillies are tied for 3rd/4th, as they are 4.5 back. The Nationals slide back into 2nd place. I don't think they're going to stay there for too long. Nationals, I still don't think they're legit. That is your final. 8-3, your final score against the Cubs as we look to have a serious win tonight, and hopefully, when it worst comes to worst, we split. But honestly, there's no excuse. We gotta win the series here. This would be huge. Zach Eflin on the mound, 3-6 with a 4.13 ERA. Against Olazy, who is 4-5 with a 4.48 ERA. So we gotta get the win here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't done yet. Please notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section. At Phillies House of Instagram, check out Instagram, call or text 267-225-3092. Email phillieshouse@gmail.com. 8:05 the first pitch tonight, the finale, Eflin and Olazy. So guys, thanks for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Disappointing performance last night. I'll see you.